All right, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachaha Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And as always, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of quick news, which is inspired by the fact that the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. Okay, and a part of the reason why we were called into this truth is because we could very well be those prophets back in the ancient world who wrote the visions of which we are experiencing today in the Holy Scriptures, so that the Lord can open up our minds to the mysteries, to the dark sayings of the Holy Scriptures via the Ha-Rakah Quadash, to understand the mysteries of the Holy Scriptures so we can extract those prophecies and bring them out to let our people know, whether if they hear or forbear, that we are indeed living in the last days and at the end of Esau Edom's empire. So here in this title, we have another spy balloon discovered off U.S. CNN. Now, we're hoping to be of the elect. So, let's continue to pray, to be humble, and not to be proud, you know, but to be humble, to be filled with humility, you know, while continuing to prophesy. Because prophecy is where it's at. The FBI reportedly believes that the craft may have been involved in a surveillance operation by a foreign power. Now, we don't know where the spy balloon is coming from. It could have been sent by the U.S. so they can put the blame on another country. And let's see, look, this must belong to Iran. They're spying on us, previously before they put the blame on China, you know. But we'll see who they might put the blame on this time. Remember, there's an agenda at hand, you know, which is which is basically to put the world in fear and chaos, confusion, you know, because this is what Esau wants. So he can get a reaction from the people so they can bring in their new world order. Okay. Okay. Remember Revelation 12 and 12. The devils come down with great wrath. Who's the devil? It's talking about the Edomites. Who are the Edomites? Malachi 1 and 4. Edom is the border of wickedness. Okay. So we know that Edom is the wicked. Now in Genesis, the 25th chapter, it gives you a description of Esau. He's described as a so-called white person. Esau, who is Edom, and that's presuming to Genesis, the 36th chapter. Okay, so predominantly, you so-called white people, you are the Edomites, and that's starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. Now, just because you look like a so-called white person does not mean you're an Edomite. Okay, your nationality is based on who your father is. So if your father's line or if your father's lineage goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian, you are an Israelite regardless of what you look like. Because we know that the Israelites are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. But now if your father's lineage on your father's side goes back to an Edomite or Esau or Amalek, then you are an Edomite. Okay? So it says here, a group of fishermen have discovered the wreckage of a possible spy balloon off the coast of Alaska, and it has become the subject of an FBI investigation. CNN reported on Friday the shooting down last year of an alleged Chinese spy balloon by the U.S. triggered a major diplomatic incident between Washington and Beijing, which, you know, it is what it is. The fishermen brought the suspicious debris onto their boat and will hand it over to FBI agents when they return to port this weekend. The network reported citing anonymous sources familiar with the matter. Based on the photograph shared with them by the crew, FBI agents determined that it was similar enough in appearance to a foreign government owned surveillance balloon that it warranted further investigation, CNN stated. In a statement released on Friday night, the FBI said that it was aware of debris found off the coast of Alaska by commercial fishing vessels. We will work with our partners to assist with the logistics of the debris recovery. Okay. So again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, you know. Now they're saying that this is a spy balloon, but they might try to use this to they might use it this time to say that that this must have came from Hamas, or this must have came from Gaza or Iran. We know that the least of the flock, presumed to Jeremiah 50 and 45, is going to draw the U.S. out into the confrontation against the Iranians. Okay. And a matter of fact, instead of talking about it, let's go to the Blue Letter Bible and bring that out. Okay. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Okay. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Now we know that Babylon is the United States of America. Okay, and how do we know that? Well, when you go to the book of Revelation, Babylon is known as Babylon the Great, which was a vision that John the Revelator saw. Okay, John the Revelator saw Babylon the Great in a vision. Okay, and Babylon was described as a woman. Now we know that America is the feminine way of saying Amerigo, as we know that America comes from the name Amerigo Vespucci, okay, who was, I believe, a cartographer, okay, but okay, that's where America comes from, and we know that through biblical prophecy, we know that a great country known as a great city will be established in these last days, which will pretty much tower over all of the other nations on the planet. So America is that country that towers over every other country on the planet through military might, technology. Okay, it says, and his purposes that he had proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. America is the land of the Chaldeans. Okay, all you got to do is just where underground cities that are tied to the Illuminati. Okay, and then there's the Bohemian Grove. They got one over here in the U.S. This is where the Illuminati members hold their meetings at. They have other countries, but their main area where they hold their meetings at is here in the U.S. Okay, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Who's the least of the flock? Who's going around telling the world that they are the flock of the Lord? Them small hats, okay? Them so-called Jewish people. They're the ones going around telling the world that they are God's people because the flock of the Lord are the Israelites. And we know that the true biblical Israelites are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. Okay, those people in the land of Israel claiming to be Jewish, they're not Jewish. Their line goes back to Esau, who is Edom. Okay, but they're the ones who stole our heritage, and they're the ones going around claiming to be the flock of the Lord, right? So they're the least of the flock that shall draw them out. That shall draw who out? The Babylonians, which is America, into what? Into their confrontation against Iran. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate against them. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And that desolation is going to come via intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay, which are described as arrows in the Holy Scriptures, or the sword as well. Okay, and they also go by other things too, the army of the Lord, you see. So they could use this spy balloon to say, look, this must have came from Iran or Hamas or, you know, blah 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 blah. But we know we're there, man. We're there. So I pray that you were informed and edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. That I'm going to say shalom. So on to the next one.